Welcome back to the Alchemical Life podcast. It is a solo dolo episode today, and I had a thing for this episode. I had a topic for this episode, but I'm switching. I was on a walk, and I was having all these thoughts, and I just wanted to start riffing. And so that's what I'm going to do today. One, like and subscribe. If you're interested, all my running clients, any endurance athletes listening to this, I've got 3 programs: a return to sport, a go further, so a building season, and then an in-season Be Unstoppable program, all including a modification list, full-length videos, training logs, a whole queuing log where I literally explain it's like you're with me, one of my clients. I explain how to go through everything. All those programs are only $50. So hop on it if you're interested. But I wanted to go because I want to go into this because it's like on my heart, mind, soul today. And so let me breathe. I'm talking fast. Okay, so 2 stories, all happening this week. First story, I think it is such a testament to some people's struggles. I was running hills on, doesn't matter the day because I'm uploading this like 2 weeks from now anyways, but I was running hills and I hear from this woman, and she says, "No fried chicken for me today. No fried foods for me today." And I looked over, and she just immediately went on about like, "Oh my God, just you look incredible, and my work and my work ethic, and I'm running and I'm dying out on these hills." And I'm thanking her, and we say our pleasantries, have a good day, whatever. And I kind of laughed to myself because, one, it was such a struggle for me to get out there, and I was fighting myself through the workout anyways. And 2, an hour before, I was looking in the mirror, like analyzing how I really just was not having a good body day that day. And I think it so perfectly ties a bow on just the grass is always greener. The whole comparison is the thief of joy. The ultimate issue with social media and body dysmorphia and growing up in a gym and some of the societal things that, us as humans have grown up with and been of witness to. And I want to say it to women, but really I see it now so much with men as well. So I don't want to just speak to women because I really think both could hear this. And it was like the moment I just had just now, that little chuckle of what of like, wow, get over yourself, and I don't know if much more needs to be said about that, but it was just a moment that I thought this is comical, and there's also so much wisdom in it, which is, I thought for so long that, one, a lot of my fueling and a lot of my motivation and my discipline was formulated based on this underlying feeling of not enough, insecurity, undeservingness, right? And that fueled a lot of where I got today. And I don't want to speak on any as being wrong or right, whatever gets you to where you go, because I am where I am partially in part because of it. So was it really that bad? I don't know. But I definitely think there are better ways to go about it, because I see so many people who are extremely content with who they are as people and simultaneously have such a growth mindset. And those 2 concepts, as much as we might think they are not mutually exclusive. And this ties into the situation because I think a lot of people who get into the gym, it's because they feel as though they're in a deficit in some way. It's less often that I see, I love this and I just want to keep getting better. It's usually, I suck at these things and I need to keep getting better. And when we can work on that, and we can get to a place where maybe we have alleviated some of that deficit. And we have gotten to a place where we could, hypothetically, our past self could be really proud of, and we find that we're still not satisfied. That is when it is really important to start working on the skill of. I have earned a certain level of respect, confidence, and trust in myself in getting this far. I have also earned the spot to have a sense of being content in the person that I have created, in the person that has been molded, physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever it may be, and also to still hold on to, I'm not done. Because I think a lot of people think that when they get to a place where they can accept I'm so proud of myself and this is where I'm at, that it's just like we're done and now it's done. And that for human existence, like biologically, is not healthy, because we always need something to continue to pursue, or else what's the point? And so, but it's an unhealthy mechanism simultaneously, because we're constantly chasing this carrot. And so, I don't know, it's just an interesting situation, and I've had several like it, but this happened this week, and I wanted to speak on it. And it's been something that I've been working on, and something I've been studying in people, is this sense of being content and also having a growth mindset and still working hard. Those two things do not need to be separate. Those two things can be together. And that's been a good challenge for me recently. And that workout in particular, that moment in time, was just a really good reminder that there's still work to be done. There's still work to be done in finding finding a state of being okay with myself, and in some ways happy with myself, and happy that I'm also still going. And the second situation that I want to talk about today, that I think might resonate with some people, is I was giving a lecture at FSU. Not really a lecture, it was more of a Socratic discussion. I've done it. I did it last semester. I got to do it this semester at FSU as a performance psych class, and it's just something that I do because I'm passionate about it. I really wish that I had somebody that had come and spoken to me when I was sitting in that desk, and wasn't just some old person that was like, work your way up and you can, still work for the man. Somebody who's just young and like hustling and doesn't know what they're doing either, but a little bit farther ahead. I wish I'd had that. And so I go and I speak, and I open the room up to the kids, they're my age, to these students to ask questions. And this last time I did it, it was a huge success, but this particular time it was almost immediately the kids were engaged. I keep saying kids. I hate that. I'm not going to say kids. The students were engaged, and they were asking me questions, and they asked me questions about training, about sports psychology, about working with clientele, mentality, working with clientele, emotions, working with clientele, certain training questions, but very few, more the psychological, emotional aspect of working with clientele, and, client retention and satisfaction and success in training. But some of the more prevalent themes that I got, which shocked me, were about my business, which is funny because I don't know what I'm doing, and I've done reasonably well for being so new to being my own business owner, but there's so much to learn. I don't know what I'm doing, but I got so many questions about running a business, scaling a business, burnout, and handling my emotions in trying to juggle business and training and life and everything. And when I get questions like that, I know that and I see a theme like commonly across the discussion. I know that it's something that these students are really looking for in themselves, and they're really seeking out answers for themselves, because they feel that there's something that they don't know or that's missing there. Otherwise, they wouldn't ask the question. But it seemed to be heavy in the room today, and when I was going to speak, and two particular questions that really were home hitters for me was one on burnout and one on self-doubt. And the one on burnout was, how do you go through your training and, dealing with the emotions of your clients and the handling of the business and, working out and everything and social life and not feel burnt out. And I laughed immediately, actually, and I said, I don't even mean to be demeaning when I say this, but a lot of people don't experience true burnout. That burnout, phases of burnout or phases of really, really hard work and hard effort are just going to happen. And there's things that people experience, and you might feel a temporary sensation of like, oh, I feel like freaking burnt out. Like I feel, whoo, like I've really worked hard. But I've experienced real burnout where it literally, like I worked so hard and I worked out so hard and I cortisoled myself so hard that I got physically ill for months at a time. I was getting sick really easily. I completely lost my cycle. I got blood work done and my gut microbiome, like I got a GI testing done as well. And my gut was just a mess, like a total wreck. A lot of my blood markers looked really poor that shouldn't have looked poor based on the diet that I was consuming. And it was because, I had like low level candida growth. I had, low T3, low magnesium, D3 amino acids. I had low B vitamins. I had low magnesium. I had low iron. There was so much. I was borderline anemic and I was just tired all the time and I was feeling depressed and I was really struggling. And I thought, this is a moment. I didn't tell them all of these things, but I did say that I was really getting sick and I was unhealthy physically, and it was messing me up. And I realized that social media is it's both so inspiring and so degrading, because there is this hustle culture that goes out, and I'm going to speak as if I'm speaking to them right now. I know that you guys can relate to this because you guys are all on social media and, y'all are all FCU, you guys are hardworking students. So this hustle culture is, in some ways, it's so toxic, and they lie because the people, they act, oh, I never take a day off and always work so hard and do all these things and whatever. And I felt trapped. I fell prey to that. And it made me less productive. It made me a worse human. It made me a worse trainer. It made me a worse daughter. It made me a worse friend. It literally made me worse at everything, except for it made me really good at suffering, and it made me really good at being sick. And whoever says that they never take a day off is just lying. The people who say they never take a vacation is lying. They are, because maybe they work a little every day, but they have times and hours in their day where they relax. Part of their work might be going to get a client dinner to bond with their client, but is that really work? That's fun. I do client dinners all the time, and to me, it's refreshing. Those people are my friends, and I absolutely love them, and I love spending time with them. If anything, those moments are really nourishing to my soul. And so it's so filled with lies and toxic shit. It's not true, and looking out at people who run businesses. I technically run a business, but I look at people who run like really high level successful businesses, and they've been doing it for years and they've scaled their businesses. They were like, we're not gatekeeping. These people are liars. Like you take time off. We don't know what we're doing. You have to sleep. Like, sleep is important. These things don't just go away. And so whenever you guys feel this sense of I have to do more and more and more and more and more and more, sometimes it's okay to understand that you can do it tomorrow. Because especially with whatever you're trying to build to and whatever you're trying to do, the list really does never end. And so you will not get it all done today. And you have to understand that. And there's a certain level of discernment that you need to have with yourself to realize that you will not and cannot and should not get it all done today. And that sometimes the best thing to do is to fucking chill out, is to rest, is to just rest and to enjoy, because this life is all we have. Like, this right now is all we have. And the second question I got was on self-doubt, and he asked me, when you're doubting yourself and when you feel unsure in your business, what do you do if you do feel that way? And of course I laughed, because I said, man, I feel that all the time. I said, dude, the day before, right before I started my own business, I panic dyed my hair red, because I was like, I can't do drugs, so I'm just going to dye my hair. Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on? What am I doing? I said, I feel doubt all the time, And it doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. You continue to move forward, and sometimes the thoughts and the negative thoughts change and they shift, but they just shift to the next level up. Okay, I had so much doubt about being able to start my own business. I've started my own business. I have so much doubt about being able to make money in my business. Now I've made money in my business. Okay, I have so much doubt now about where I'm going to take my business. And there are times in which I wake up and my brain immediately starts talking to me all this shit. You suck and you're a failure and you'll never be anything, you'll never be successful. And I said the best piece of advice that I can give is to understand that you can act independently of your emotions. You can. And the most successful people that I've seen in life understand this and practice this really well. Is they understand that their thoughts are not always to be trusted, and sometimes your thoughts don't matter, and sometimes your emotions don't matter. They just don't. And not in a way of put everything aside and shut everything in. You can recognize that they're there. You can recognize that the thoughts are there. You can recognize that you're feeling sad, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling distressed, you're feeling uncertain, you're feeling overwhelmed. But it's just something you're feeling right now. Just like how sometimes you feel joy and happiness and whatever. We never question, feeling that. Like it was, hell yeah, I love this feeling. This is great. But they all come and go. They always go away. And so understanding that you might feel this, but it's going to go away. And what you do action-wise doesn't need to be dictated by how you feel at all. When you mastered that, you've become, in some ways, you've ultimately reached emotional regulation. You become a master of yourself, because you have enough emotional maturity to know that what I'm feeling doesn't mean that I need to be that person. Just like sometimes I'm pissed off, doesn't mean I'm gonna go yell at somebody. Doesn't mean I'm gonna go punch somebody in the face. Just because somebody cut me off in traffic. I don't always act on how I feel. I felt pissed off and frustrated, but I'm not going to go punch someone in the face. I might feel really uncertain and doubtful, but I'm not going to go self-sabotage myself. And that's speaking on behalf of somebody who's done that before, where it's like, you suck and I doubt myself or whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to go punch myself theoretically in the face? Why? What is the purpose of that? Just like somebody says, you suck and you're the worst and you'll never be anything, I'm not going to go punch them in the face. I'm not going to do that to myself either. And it was a really incredible conversation. It was full of so many things. I could bring up so many points just about business and life and whatever that I talked with these students about, and just how powerful the atmosphere in the room was. And at the end, several people came up to me and talked to me about how helpful the conversation was. But two people in particular. One was so excited. I think because I was so excited talking about training and how much I love my job, and how part of why it's easy for me to work as much as I do is because I just love what I freaking do, and how I got into what I did is because I just love what I do. And not every hobby needs to turn into a career, but that hobby that you just can't stop talking about, can't stop helping people in, can't stop serving people in, that might be a good career for you. This one guy eked off of my excitement, and he came up and he was almost yelling hey, this is my name, it's so nice to meet you. Dude, I loved your talk. I was so looking forward to this. I was so looking forward to talking with you. And man, I just, I'm really into hypertrophy training, whatever, and I'm super into it. And, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but, my mom wants me to be a doctor, but I don't really want to go to med school, but I'm getting this degree, and I think I'm going to, you've got me so hyped. And he told me it's basically now he's going to go get his NASM. He's going to sign up and become a trainer. And he's going to keep getting his XPhys made, his degree, because, maybe he'll go to med school, but he'll have the degree anyways, and it's good to have the degree, but there's no pressure there, and he can just start, and he can just get going. And it was such an awesome moment, and I had this girl come up to me, and she said, this isn't what I do, and I couldn't relate in some ways to your talk because I don't, I'm not going to be a trainer. I don't want to be a trainer. It's not even the path I'm going to take major wise. But she said, I just want to know how much I appreciated the discussion and how much I enjoyed the discussion and you being here and how engaging it was. And, I'm actually in high school. It's my first college class, and, I'm so nervous, and you talking about hustle culture and the stuff related to hustle culture, it really hit deep with me because I feel because I feel in so many ways like there's so much to do, like I'm not doing enough. And I think it hit me so hard when she said that it hit her so hard, because like that was me. Like that was so me in that desk in high school and college, and it was so me. And it was so cool to be able to shake her hand and get her name, and to just look at her and be like, girl, you don't need to have it all figured out, and just slow down. Because the fact that you're here right now says like so much about you and how hard you work anyways. And I just fucking love talks like that, dude. And I just wanted to make that podcast today. So I hope that resonates with some people. Fucking so cool. I'm genuinely so grateful for what I get to do and the things that I get to do. And it's, I don't know, monetary stuff is awesome, but like that to me, like I just succeeded. Like that was success for me, because going into today, I asked God, the universe, I prayed, like whatever. I just was like, please let me connect with these kids in the way that I need to in order for them to receive it. So that's the episode today, guys. Like, subscribe. Until next week, I'll see y'all. Peace out.